Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Evolve Talks, and I'm Aman Khan, and I'm back with another session of today that is with an amazing person. And since the beginning, we started Evolve Talks. It was all about appreciating individuals, all about making people come who have done something right, something amazing, who have made difference in the life of others. So we know that Pakistan doesn't lack amazing people. बहुत talent है पाकिस्तान में, बहुत लोग बहुत अच्छा अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं. But एक चीज बहुत कम देखी जाती है, that is appreciating others. So I have with me an amazing person, Asiya Javed, who is the founder of Change Makers of Pakistan. So, Changemakers of Pakistan is basically an organization founded for people who really want to change, who really want to appreciate the people who are making a change, who are doing something good. So, we'll know more about it from Asia herself. Asia is studied in George Mason and has been working for the social welfare since a decade. So, I'll be having Asia on the line. Assalamu alaikum, Asia. How are you? Can you hear me?
I don't think I can hear you anymore.
I can hear you. Let me check. Can you hear me now?
Aman, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but let me see. Can you hear me now?
Aman, I think we
Still
might be
can't hear
having
me?
no. I just see your lips moving.
Okay, we'll have to check that. Just if you can wait a minute. Hello, Asya, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the disruption, but yes, we were coming on the topic. So, how are you?
Okay. I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
It's truly a pleasure. And tell me, how's the lockdown going? How are you staying at home since when?
Yeah, I think
How's
it's
staying in
been three
US?
months. Yeah, I'm in
Oh,
US in Virginia, so it's been about 3 months now. We've been just home and just we just go out for grocery shopping and that's it. The
uh-huh.
lockdown has been extended here for another 3 weeks, so we'll be home for Eid. There's
You'll be
all the
home.
mosques,
Oh.
yeah, all the mosques, everything are still closed, so it's been an
So it's a
interesting,
different thing for all of us, Asiya. How has it been for you?
yeah, I mean, I primarily work from home, so it's hasn't been too bad and it's been an easy Ramzan actually. I can't really complain. Especially,
Yeah, we all can't.
especially being in the US, like they don't accommodate hours, timings, work hours for us. So like you wake up for Sari and then you off to work and then you have to work to, it's like very, very hard for us here. So in the 14-hour days. But yeah, so it's been pretty easy and alhamdulillah, we're grateful. I mean, it's been strange time, but we're so excited that, Ramzan was during the quarantine.
Uh-huh,
Yeah.
great. So, Asya, I was just telling the people, the people watching with us who have just joined us, that you guys are doing a wonderful job at Change Makers of Pakistan. And as the name suggests, you guys are really making a change. So, many people still don't know. And so, before we carry on the session and know about your journeys, your efforts, all the things you have been doing, so tell me about something about yourself. Where have you grown up? What you studied? How this idea came up?
Sure. So I was born in Pakistan, but when I was like a couple of months old, my family was in Dubai. So I went back to Dubai and I was raised in Dubai. And then I came
Uh-huh.
to US when I was 15. So I did my high school and university here. I graduated from George Mason University.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so that's kind of, a little bit about me and my family. Everyone's here and in Pakistan now. So,
Uh-huh.
and back in 2016 is when I spent about 5 months in Nepal. I was volunteering at a school. And that's kind of after that is when I came back to US and I was like, I want to do something for my birthplace, for Pakistan. And the idea
Uh-huh.
of change
So,
makers of
so when
Pakistan came into being.
you founded Changemakers, and what was the basic idea behind it? What
So
triggered?
Yeah, so primarily I was just looking to find a way to give back, but I couldn't make up my mind what the cause was going to be, whether, it was for girls' education or gender equality or whatever it was. And I was just connected to a lot of social activists on Facebook, through Facebook. And I just kept seeing, and then it ended up being Ramzan back in 2016. So I was just seeing all the amazing work. There were so many people already doing the amazing work. So I was like, why start something new when there are already so many people doing the work? Why not create a unified platform to uplift them and to just have them
Uh-huh.
consolidated basically in one platform? So Changemakers of Pakistan, as much as maybe it's just that we're bringing the change, it's about the people that are bringing the change in Pakistan. So I started it when I
Uh-huh.
was in the US, and I found so it started by us making videos and documentaries of people who are making a difference. So I was
Uh-huh. Great.
here, and we got a team together in Pakistan. So Uzair and Maddie are the core team members. Uzair makes the videos, and Maddie's, does all the work with me.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, Uzair started making the videos, and now it's been 3 years later. Here we
It's
are,
been three
and the
years.
team,
Great.
yeah.
So, Asiya, as the name suggests, it's quite precise that change makers of Pakistan. So, before we move on, I'd like to know that how the name came up. Why just change makers of Pakistan?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I just came up with a list of names because I just wanted a name that would signify like the positive
The
image of
cause.
Pakistan too. Yeah, and yeah, so like a lot of people had this odd perception of Pakistan. Like when I was going to Pakistan, I think back in I think it was in 2015 or so, they're like, "Oh, you're going to Pakistan? Is it safe?" And I would just think that's so stupid. So I wanted to show
Yeah.
them, like for lack of a better word, it was stupid and ignorant. So I wanted to show them, like, look at this new generation that's doing that amazing work. So I wanted to show them that Pakistan is changing, and I think, and then everyone voted on the name too. So that's we kind of decided on Changemakers of Pakistan.
Uh-huh. Great. So, change makers of Pakistan. I'm focusing on the part of Pakistan. So, okay, I get the point that you were born in Pakistan, your family is from Pakistan, but you founded it while you were in US. So, how you kept that connection with Pakistan going all those years? You were brought up abroad, but still you had that love for the country and for the change makers. So, tell me something about it.
I think it's just something that overseas Pakistanis live with. Like we miss, even though I didn't spend a lot of time in Pakistan, like you just miss it. Like you miss the loud sounds of Lahore, you miss the shopping, you miss the craziness, right? So like I think it's just like how we stay connected by whether it's helping a little bit here and there. So for me, it was also because that was my dad's home and my dad's birthplace, and he passed away too. So I wanted to do something to honor like his hard work and his legacy too. And I don't know, it's Pakistan. Like that'll always be home. So yeah.
Oh, great. The wonderful. So, coming back to the start, to the initiative of yours. So, 3 years back, you started Change Makers of Pakistan. So, what was the first step, the first thing you did from the platform of Change Makers of Pakistan?
The first thing we did was we created videos. That was the purpose, was to bring stories and just create short documentaries. So
Uh-huh.
that's what we would do. We would just find change makers in Pakistan who are doing grassroots level work, like not the big NGOs. We didn't want to, because they already get the support from international platforms. They already have the name, right? So we wanted to bring attention to the people doing work at a grassroots level. Like sometimes they're not even registered NGOs. So we started by just making videos like once a month. So Maddie and Uzair would just find change makers and they would go record their stories. And so primarily they were doing the work, and I was, there with the idea, and we all founded this together. So I was just with the donations and the editing and the social media. That's what I would do. So our team, we have a great dynamic. So we all came together, and they were doing the field work, which I would, miss a lot. Like, so that's why
Miss a
last
lot, yeah.
summer, yeah. So the last summer, I went to Pakistan and spent 4 months there, and we were able to work together, which was an amazing opportunity.
Uh-huh. So do you remember the very first story that you guys covered and made a video on?
Yeah, so the very first story was Khamis, and he's, one of our close friends, and he's very well connected in Lahore. So he was the
Uh-huh.
inspiration. Yeah, so he was that inspirational story that we started with.
Can you t tell us something about his story?
Yeah, so I think now Khamis has his own NGO that he started, and he also traveled with us last summer, which was, an
Uh-huh.
amazing experience for all of us. So yeah, Khamis is doing. I don't know the name of the organization, but they have done worked with EB Foundation so far, and a lot of great organizations they've partnered with this year. So during Ramzan, during the pandemic, so yeah, Khamis is just an inspirational person, and so we started with him.
Wonderful. So, Asa, there's also, you just told us that you guys traveled last month, and we've seen your stories of last summer that you guys, the intense summer of South Punjab and then
Yeah.
Tharparkar, and you guys traveled a lot. So, what was the idea behind it? Who planned it? How things went? If you can tell us something about it.
I kind of just came together. Like we didn't really know what like we were doing. I knew I wanted to spend this time in Pakistan to cover stories. But it just like one city after the other fell together. We all posted like, hey, we're traveling. So they would be like, oh, come to this city and we have these stories and change makers within this city. So we would just go from one city to the other. It was just simultaneously planned. Like it was just like very spontaneous, so we would just go along with it. Yeah, so we were just bouncing from one city to the other. Like sometimes we would spend 2 days somewhere, but in Karachi we spent a week. We had amazing stories in Karachi, a lot of them. So it was very spontaneous, I would say. Like we just,
Uh-huh.
yeah, we're
So,
bouncing all
how
over the
did you
place.
guys, from bouncing one place to another, how you guys found those amazing stories?
We had a master list that we keep track of, so people can submit change makers, or they can submit themselves, or if they want to nominate someone. So people had been
Uh-huh.
doing that over the past like 2 years. We had a master list of them. We kept it, on record. So wherever we would end up, we would look up the city and we would contact them. And through Facebook, like we would say, hey, we're here. If you know anyone, tag them. And if we had the time,
Uh-huh.
we try to cover as many stories as possible in each area.
Great. So, Asa, whenever you start a NGO, where it is an organization, an enterprise, you always have some vision at the back of the mind. So I get it that your vision was that you guys wanted to appreciate the people who were making a change. But what was the other vision? You guys are also connecting different causes to the NGOs, to the donors. So tell me something about the vision you guys are basically working on.
Yeah, so I mean, again, the primary mission has always been to empower and lift NGOs. While initially, like I said, like we were making videos, we were making short documentaries, and then we were doing our own like Ramzan drives. We were collaborating with Hamas and like all these people. We were doing our own iftar drives. But then, so this year we decided to take it a step further, and so we gave grants to 10 NGOs. It was like
Mm-hmm.
20,000 each. It wasn't a lot, but that was the best way to do it because they are the ones who are in the field and working hard every single day. They know the needs. So, especially as a US based organization, like where I'm not there in the field to do the work. So we wanted to
Uh-huh.
trust and uplift them. So I think that's always been the vision to give these people a platform, to appreciate them, to connect them to US based donors because I mean, everyone can just donate to UNICEF or to the Red Cross, but a lot of those program expenses go to like programs and like paying some big salaries, and this way none of us take a single dollar out of donation. So every single amount goes to a small NGO on the field. So I think it was also maximizing the impact of the donations.
Great, great. So, as we're talking about the donations, so I also saw your recent things. You were covering different heroes who were helping people in all this COVID-19 situation in Pakistan. So, tell me about the wonderful work people are doing in this COVID-19 situation, some change makers you guys have covered.
Yeah, gosh, there's been so many stories we get. Like our inboxes are flooded. So we try to, at least bring one a day to so people can appreciate them. And honestly, it's a social media post, right? But I think it really does help lift people's spirits and then people say good job because they're working day and night and they're not doing it for the validation
Yeah.
or appreciation. But I think people need to know these are everyday people like me and you that are making a difference. I mean, we've had like one of our grant recipients, like, Aisha, I loved her work. She's helping women with menstrual hygiene products
Uh-huh.
don't have access to that in the pandemic. There's food savers, they're doing amazing work. They've been doing it prior to the pandemic as well, where they take leftover foods and give it to people in Hyderabad, like after hours, like whether it's leftover food from a wedding or restaurants. And I just think organizations and people like that are finding unique ways to make a
Mm-hmm.
difference, that's amazing. I mean, and then there are people that are doing the ration drives because millions of
Russian drives,
people
yeah.
are, yeah, out of work and providing masks or the protective gear, whatever it may be. There's so many amazing stories.
So many amazing stories.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So I have an interesting question here, Asa, that it just came to my mind, and it's that sometimes see so many stories, so many inspiring stories, so many, and they're mostly of the women empowerment, of the child labor. There are many stories out there. So sometimes it happens that you see a story and you connect with it, and it just stays with you forever. It just becomes a part of you, and you're so inspired that it stays with you forever. So if I ask you that out of all the stories you guys have covered, if you can tell one or two stories that will stay with you forever, that inspired you to the core.
I think so. This one was our second story. Her name was Chai Wali Baji.
Uh-huh.
And the video quality isn't that great, and Uzair was still learning, our equipment wasn't up to par. Like, so the video isn't of great quality, but the story was simply amazing. This woman, she was wearing full hijab, like her face was also covered, and she was
Mm-hmm.
selling chai. She sells chai so she can help support her children's education. So her husband obviously didn't make a lot of money. And so instead of staying home and being helpless and not sending her kids to school, she
Uh-huh.
started a chai stall to help her children's education. And that was also one of our most popular stories because she wasn't helping necessarily the community, but in a way she was because, she's a woman stepping out and selling chai on the street, which is very uncommon in Pakistan, especially a woman of her, sorry, especially a woman in her like situation that she was. So I think that's one of the
Uh-huh.
most inspirational stories. We still get people who ask us where is she, and we can't find Shaywali Baji anymore. We don't know where she went, but we hope she's
Uh-huh. So where she
educating.
was
But
the time you guys covered her in Pakistan?
Maddie and Uzair found her in Lahore. Yeah, I don't know
Uh-huh. In
exactly
Lahore.
where. Yeah, yeah, and we tried to find her last time I was there, but we can't find her. But I just thought, it's just amazing to see
Just
that she wasn't
amazing.
really
Exactly.
relying on any support. She just wanted to do the work, and it was also great that all the uncles around in the shops around were very
Exactly.
supportive
That's
of
that's a big
her.
thing in Pakistan.
Yeah, yeah. So that's one of my favorite stories.
That's wonderful. Great. So, tell me, you told me about Zaire and Mehdi. So, tell me how you were you guys friends? And there's a thing when you guys start one thing and you just go to your friends and you are like, okay, let's do it. And usually friends are like, okay, this won't happen. Chalega nahi, hoga nahi. So, were there moments like this when you were going to start change makers?
So no, I mean my friends here were very like supportive, but I think it's the friends here that are like our board members. Again, like we can just do things like collect donations, fundraisers, social media, paperwork kind of deal. I think to be honest, Maddie and Uzair were the ones in the beginning doing all the hard work where they were like
Uh-huh.
traveling and getting the stories. And I don't know, like when we met last year for the first time, it felt like we'd known each other for a really long time, so we became instantly connected, and we're friends, and they're like my brothers and sisters to me. So yeah, no, they're amazing to work with, and I'm so glad they were part of the founding team.
Great. So I'm trying to flash a story on the screen that is basically I recently saw it on your social media and I found it very inspiring. That was this picture. I hope you can see it on the screen.
I don't
I think so. I'm not able to flash it on the screen. I'll try again.
oh
Uh-oh.
oh yeah.
Yes, here it is. So tell me about it. What's the story? What's this initiative?
Yeah, so this is an organization or project called Batok by Aisha. So she was one
Mhm.
of our grant recipients in the first round. Her and I think it's her mom that works with her too. I'm not sure, but I've seen their pictures, and I thought that was super cute and amazing
Super
that
cute, yeah.
her mom is, yeah, her mom is so supportive too. Because you don't know, especially these topics can be so taboo in our community.
So taboo.
But I
Yeah,
think
that's
it's,
what the main
yeah.
thing I was so inspired that in Pakistan it's a big taboo. Still it is to talk about such stuff.
Yeah, so I personally, like, our board members picked her, the grant, her for the grant. They thought it was unique isn't the right word, but it is something, she's doing, taking a stand on a big topic, because she could easily be providing ration, right? But it is like providing menstrual hygiene kits and pads and like things that women need in time of need. I think that was a very, very it's a very good thing that she did, and she took a stand on something that she believed in, women and gender like empowerment. So yeah, Aisha, she seems amazing. I personally don't know her, but yeah, our
Uh-huh.
board members picked her story because they're very inspired, and we will inshallah continue to support and partner with them in the future too. And
Great.
her
So when do you
project
guys
is
plan to
called
come Pakistan again?
uh, I want to come every year.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to come. I mean, I would like to come back this year, but with the COVID-19
Yeah,
situation, I
it's so
don't know.
sad that now we guys cannot travel this much.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, the idea was to come back again this year, but let's see, maybe it'll be better to come in the winter time, better than the
Yeah.
summer
Better
months.
than the
So,
summer, surely.
yeah.
Yes. So, Asya, since I know you have less time and it's still day there and you have things to get back to, so I'll move towards my last question with you. And it's like everything when you start, you see a future in it. So, regarding change makers of Pakistan, if I ask you that where do you see change makers in the coming 5 years, so what it will be?
I really do want to grow this platform to a place where our website can have consolidated information to all the NGOs in Pakistan, whether it's a small project or a big one. Because a lot of times we see like someone's fundraising for someone's health treatment, or they can't pay a bill, and everyone's just doing it on social media. So I think eventually, like, I want to grow it to a platform where they can find health related NGOs in Lahore that can help with medical bills. So just very a consolidated platform where they can actually make a difference and bring all the change makers in Pakistan together.
Uh,
And other than that, we've been wanting to do this, but again, with this year now the pandemic, but we want to do a Change Makers of the Year conference, where
uh-huh.
we not only teach them like social entrepreneurship skills, and also award a change maker of the year, with a
Great,
monetary
great.
amount to further their cause, and continue to make documentaries and videos, because I think that's an integral part to show the positive
True.
side of Pakistan, and to continue to give these people their story, because that's also important.
Wonderful. So, it's change maker of Pakistan. So, any plan of converting into change makers of world?
Yeah, I mean, maybe one day, inshallah, but I think I still think that there's so many unheard stories in Pakistan that even if we spend the rest of our lives to give these heroes the appreciation, it probably won't be enough.
Probably won't be enough, exactly.
Yeah.
So, Asa, lastly, would you one thing you'd like to say to all the people who are making change in the life of others? And first of all, what does it exactly mean to make change in the life of others? We when we imagine this concept of change making, it just suddenly sounds so big. However, you can just make change in someone's life by doing very little things. So, just
Yeah.
describe the concept of making change in someone's life or making change overall to the people watching.
Yeah. I think it's just like you said, it's something so simple that can be done, whether it's, smiling at a stranger walking down the street. And I think
Yeah.
especially with the situation and the whatever is going on in the world right now, I think it's so easy to make a difference. And I think in Pakistan, I found it pretty easy to make a change, like, to because you would see so many people in need and they would appreciate even 10 rupees. And I don't think it always has to be a monetary amount that you're making a change or helping someone. I just think,
Mhm.
when your intentions are there and they're followed by actions, no matter how small, there won't be futile. Yeah.
Great. So, lastly, Asa, I'd like you to give the people a message and advice to all the people watching who are the change makers. There is somehow a change maker hidden in them. So, one thing you'd like to say.
I would just like to say that if you haven't started an initiative and it's in the back of your mind, definitely start. And you will be surprised how many people will support you. Like you were saying, if my friends were like, oh, it may not succeed, but you'll be surprised how many people support you. To this day, I wonder, I'm like, why do Maddie and Uzair still like work for this cause for free? But they believe in it. And I think people will follow your trail and they will support, they will donate, they will help you out. And there are organizations like Changemakers of Pakistan that will appreciate your work. So I would just like to say, just start and just do the work. And yeah,
Yeah, so thank you so much, and I really appreciate your cause, Asya. You guys are doing a wonderful job, and that's a thing which
thank
I
you.
think it is very rare in Pakistan. So kudos to you, and keep up the good work. And thank you so much for joining and sharing all the amazing work you're doing with us. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Aman. Take care.
Take care. So that was Asiya from Changemakers of Pakistan. So you guys see that people are making difference in the lives of others by doing very little things. So all you need to do to make change in life of others today is just smile at them, give them a compliment. If someone is doing something great, tell them now because now it's the time. You don't know about the next breath you're going to have. So just do it. Stay safe, and we'll be back with another session soon. So thank you so much for joining. Stay safe.